everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. Lord Tremendous, that's me, the Warriors Chaos, versus Prince Julian of the High Elves. And he hasn't actually played in a while, so he just kind of threw together a list real quick with the models he had on hand. Not a lot of experience making lists or anything like that, so if this one seems a little unorthodox, that's because it is. Your eyes aren't crazy, and neither is your logic. But we had a good time. He told me to come at him, and so I did. And, well, you get to see what happens. Here's my list. Actually, this should be pretty much what you're used to seeing by now. But I have my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous. He's got the Marquezine. She's level 3 Wizard. Chaos Armor, Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, Other Trickster Shard, Soul Feeder, Scaled Skin, Poisonous Slime, Flaming Breath, and Allura Metal. My hero choices are my Exalted Hero, Enigma, the placeholder. And the reason for that is, well, you'll see in Battle Report 102. But he's got the Marquezine, he's my BSB, he's got the Chaos Steed, Halberd, Helm of Many Eyes, and the Dawnstone. And like I said, he's the placeholder because the other model that I'm going to use to replace Catalyst, who tragically died in Battle Report 100, if you haven't seen that one yet, it's worth a watch. It's the same kit and everything like that, just a different model, different character. But yeah. The new model will be up and ready to go by Battle Report 102. Then I have my Exalted Hero, Kull, the Collector of Souls. Saval goes away for a while. I will be using the Saval model, I think, for the next few battle reports, but I will be trying to call him Kull just simply because that's what the new one's going to be called. So, yeah. Or I'll probably screw up and call him Saval anyway. We'll get over it. But he's got the Marquezine, she's on a Demonic Mount, he's got the Enchanted Shield, Talisman of Preservation, and the Third Eye of Tzeentch. And then last but not least is my new Chaos Sorcerer, the Flame Warper. He's got the Marquezine, she's a level 2 Wizard, he's got the Dragon Helm, Luckstone, Skull of Catan, and Allura Tzeentch. My core choices are 5 Chaos Warhounds that are naked, 18 Chaos Warriors, Blood Tide, with the Mark of Khorne, Full Command, Halberds, and the Banner of Fury. And then my unit of 17 Chaos Warriors, the Children of Tzeentch, with the Mark of Tzeentch, Full Command, Hand Weapon, Shield, and the Banner of Eternal Flame. My special choices are 5 Chaos Knights, the Teeth of Tzeentch, with the Mark of Tzeentch, Full Command, Ensorcelled Weapons, and the Standard of Discipline. And my War Shrine, the Bringer of Change, with the Mark of Tzeentch. Last but not least is the one, the only, the Mutalith Vortex. Gotta love the beast. And yes, as I record this one, my wife is in the room. She is laughing her butt off at me. And so if I'm distracted or start laughing uncontrollably for some reason, it's because my wife is making fun of me. So, yay! Here's my opponent's list. This is from memory. I did not get a picture of his list, so I'm guessing. I believe he had a prince on an elven steed with the Armor of Destiny, the Ogre Blade, and the Charm Shield. I believe he had an Archmage who was a level 4 wizard on an Elven Steed, Talisman of Preservation, Book of Hoeth, and Allura Beasts, I think, maybe, something like that, not 100%. I think his hero choices were a Mage, it was a level 2 wizard with a Dispel Scroll and Allura Metal, and he had another Mage, level 2 wizard, a Channeling Staff, and Allura Shadow, and I believe he had a Prince with the Sword of Might and Enchanted Shield. No, he did not have a BSB. His core choices were a unit of 30 archers with a musician, another unit of 34 archers with a musician, 25 Sea Guard with full command, 14 Alarian Reavers with full command, and 35 Spearmen also with full command. If they had magic manners, I have no idea. His special choice was a White Lion Chariot, and his rare choice was 3 Bolt Throwers. Here are my spells, 3 from Metal, 2 from Tzeentch, and 1 from the Beast. And these are my opponent's spells. 4 from Beast, 2 from Metal, and 2 from Shadow. Here's deployment. With this many core level, weak armored, non-elite elves arrayed against me, I just lined up in the middle and I was going to go forward. Stat-wise, I've got him beat. I didn't know what kind of special tricks, if any, he had in the unit. I figured... since he didn't have a BSB and he didn't have a unit that could take the Banner of the World Dragon, I didn't have to worry about my Demon Prince's placing. I was a little bit worried about the Bolt Throwers, so that's why I put the Demon Prince where he's at so that the hut blocks line of sight to the Demon Prince, so only one Bolt Thrower had a shot at him. And then I was just going to stick him in archers and try to Soul Feeder any wounds he might take from the thing. Other than that, the Beast and Saval or Kull, whichever he is, Saval for now, lined up because Saval's new job as an exalted hero is to take out bolt throwers. So there's a bolt thrower and a chariot over there, and he was going to deal with those for me while the beast tried to help out the best it could. And the warriors, the war shrine, and the knights were all going to go straight forward. When I saw the cavalry going on, I thought they were Silverhelm. No, they're really Reavers. So yeah, like I said, he hasn't played in a while, so we went over his list after. We'll get to the recap. Here's his right flank. There's a bolt thrower on the left and a unit of archers on the right. Here's his center. From left to right, there's a unit of spearmen, a unit of archers, a unit of sea guard, the reavers, and I believe his prince and his level 4 caster are in there. Behind them are a unit of spearmen, and I believe a prince and a mage is in there. His other mage has got that blue cloak on the left side, and the spearmen. I think they're spearmen. And his left flank, 2 bolt throwers and a chariot. Here's my right flank, which consists of the beast. And my center, from right to left, there's Saval, there's my warriors, there's my dogs, there's my knights, there's my war shrine. I know it looks like it's Nurgle, but it's really Tzeentch. I'm working on that. Eventually I'm going to get a new one, and eventually my wife will have time to paint it, and eventually it'll look right. And she's rolling her eyes at me as I say that, because she's not happy she has to paint another war shrine. There's my Tzeentch warriors, and there's my demon prince. So here's top of 1 after movement, and as you can see, I didn't get to go first. And he pretty much comes forward, not as fast as he can, but he comes forward a little bit. Gotta respect that. During his magic phase, he gets Malakos mystifying miasma off of my knights and targets their movement and lowers it by 1. Nothing else happens, so we go into bottom of 1 after movement, and I surge forward. There is nothing in this army that I'm afraid of. And I'm not sure if that's a smart thing or a stupid thing, but one thing I do when I don't understand what our opponent is doing is charge, because I'm stupid. I don't know. But really the only charge that I make is with the knights. Even with a -1, I need like an 11 to hit the reavers, but I was feeling froggy, and I rolled it, and I actually made it. I actually put the dice on the tray, so when you get the close-up picture, you can see I'm not lying. Everything else just surges forward. Even the dogs move forward real quick. I didn't really know where to put them, so I put them in the way of the war shrine, because I was a little worried about the war shrine getting charged or something like that. So yeah. There's a better picture of the knights slamming into the reavers. Need an 11, rolled an 11. How awesome is that? During the magic phase, the beast hits those spearmen in the back there and makes them stupid for the rest of the game. And I think maybe 1 or 2 die. I don't remember exactly. It's not many, but they're stupid now, so that's something. The War Shrine is able to get its spell off, and I get to roll 1 armor save for my caster. So now he's got a 2 up. And that alone is pretty much worth the points, you know? It's making my character more survivable. Also, during the magic phase, I'm able to get enchanted blades off on my knights, which will help slaughter the reavers. Which they do. They knock it out of the effing park. All but 3 reavers die. I believe my BSB gets his issues a challenge, and he declines it, and I put his mage in the back. Or his prince, one of the two. Something goes in the back. But needless to say, with charge, 2 banners, and about 10, 11 wounds to nothing, he wasn't able to hurt me at all. I win this combat by a landslide. He does not have a BSB, which is, I find that out right now. So he loses. My knights overrun, capture them, or catch them, and slam into the spearmen, who can't do anything because they're now immune to psychology, because they're stupid. Thank you, beast. So we go into bottom of 2 after movement, and as you can see, there's not much. His elves, for the most part, are paralyzed, with the exception of the chariot that charges into Saval. There's a better picture of the chariot slamming into Saval. I was a little worried about that. He's got a 1-up, 3-up, rolling 1s, but I was a little concerned. Nothing happens in his magic phase, so we go straight into combat. Well, nothing happens in the shooting phase either, so we go straight into combat, and the spearmen are able to take out one of my knights, and I'm able to take out a boatload of spearmen, but they're steadfast and they stick around. Meanwhile, over here, Saval puts 2 wounds on the chariot. Chariot does a wound to Saval, charge and a wound to 2 wounds. Nobody's a musician, so we end up sticking. Excuse me. And we go to bottom of 2 after movement. And as you can see, my Tzeentch warriors slam into the flank of the spearmen warriors. don't recall exactly why my opponent turned. He did it in his movement phase. I recall we were having a conversation with somebody. They were asking why they didn't turn to Spearman to look at the knights, and we were having a conversation with the guy that was watching, and he was asking why he didn't move his spearmen over to look at my knights. And I said, well, if he did that, he'd expose his flank to my Zinch Warriors, and you don't want to do that because I'm going to negate your ranks. You're not going to be steadfast. You're not going to get enough attacks to really do anything, and I'll slaughter you. And we all agree, and then my opponent turned the spearmen to face the knights. And I looked at him like, dude, we were just talking about this, but I thought he knew what he was doing, or he knew something I didn't, or maybe they were stubborn. I had no idea. So when he presented the flank of the spearmen to me, I took it. I didn't know what else to do. Meanwhile, my Demon Prince slams into the other unit of spearmen, or Sea Guard, or whatever they are, and the rest of the guys just start moving up. The Corn Warriors really didn't know where to go. The dogs turn around and try to get away, and the War Shrine tries to stay close so that it can try to, give its spell off to all the unit champions that are around. Yeah, there's a better picture of my Zinch Warriors slamming into the Sea Guard. I believe they're Sea Guard. I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. I didn't know what he had in there, but I wanted to find out. And there's a better picture of my Demon Prince slamming into his spearmen. During combat, because my magic phase does nothing, his unit champion issues a challenge I have to accept, and I pulverize him. The unit's steadfast and sticks. And then over here, the Sea Guard get cut down. I kill not many, like 5 or 6, considering that's not very much. But that was plenty to make it so he needed Snake Eyes to stick. He wasn't stubborn, wasn't steadfast, and ended up getting run down for his trouble. During combat over here, he doesn't kill any of my knights, but I kill very few of his spearmen. He ends up losing this combat, but he's steadfast and makes it. And then over here, Cull is able to destroy the White Lion Chariot, which is awesome. So we go to top 3 after movement, and there's been a little bit. The archers broke. Sorry, I didn't take any pictures of it. The archers broke when the Sea Guard died, and they fled, and they made it to the edge of the table, and then they turned and rallied this turn. Other than that, the other archers in the forest kind of turned to shoot at the Zinch Warriors, and everything else is either in combat or like a war machine. There's a better picture of these unit archers rallying. During his magic phase, he gets Plague of Rust off on my Demon Prince, and to be honest with you, he's got a 1-up against a whole bunch of Strength 3. I'm not overly concerned, so yeah, he gets Plague of Rust off, and I don't mind. The resulting miscast of 5 causes a significant amount of damage. The elves take a little bit of a head kick in, and the mage takes 1 wound for his trouble. And then we go into combat. He issues a challenge with the mage. Tremendous accepts and pulverizes him like he was a unit champion. They are steadfast and stick around. Over here in combat, the spearmen, I only kill 4. I'm kind of flubbing my rolls over here. But his spearmen are able to kill 2 of my knights. Yeah, these are some tough friggin' spearmen. So yeah, 2 of my knights go down to 4 of his spearmen. I think I lose this combat. I'm not 100% on that, but I have to take a panic check and I pass. But yeah, the spearmen actually pull one out. It's pretty impressive. So we go to bottom of 3 after movement. And not a whole lot. I've pretty much traffic jammed my Chaos Warriors, my Corn Warriors anyway, so I don't really know what to do with them. My Beast and Saval charged, well, the Beast charges a Bolt Thrower, Saval runs over to charge a Bolt Thrower next turn if he's still around, and the Zinch Warriors charge archers that rallied last turn. Meanwhile, the dogs continue to flee. Well, they're not fleeing. They continue to fall back so that they don't give up their points that easy. And the Corn Warriors and the War Shrine just try to find a place to go. There's a better picture of Zinch Warriors slamming into the archers. There's a better picture of the Beast slamming into the Bolt Thrower. During the magic phase, because why not, I realized that my Demon Prince can see the archers, and he fires off Final Transmutation and does 4, 8, 10 golden statues. Luckily, they're stupid and don't have to worry about a panic check, but it was still pretty cool to kill off 1/3 of them with 1 spell. Then in combat, since nothing else can accept the challenge, Tremendous starts jumping up and down on a unit, kills a boatload of them, but fortunately for the elves, they're steadfast and stick it out. And then over here in combat, my BSB finally gets a challenge accepted. The prince gets slaughtered, and he gets a reroll for his trouble. And yeah, my 2 remaining knights get killed by the spearmen. They find the weak points in the armor, I guess, and just myrtleize them. So that's actually quite impressive. So now my BSB is all alone against a Sorma spearman. That's kind of scary. And in the combat over here, the beast flub's pretty good. Ends up not only killing 1, but it stops the thing from shooting, and that's good enough for me. It makes it its break check and stays. And as you can see over here, I lose a Zinch Warrior, and he loses a unit archers. So, yeah, not really a surprise there. So, we go to top of 4 after movement, and as you can see, there really isn't any. The one Bolthor returns to face Saval, and the archers and the other Bolthor just kind of stand there and get ready to shoot at whatever they can. During his shooting phase, he is actually able to get he multi-shot Saval and actually gets one through. So, that was actually pretty impressive. And then over here, I lose this combat. I'd actually take a wound. I only kill 1 archer. I have a banner and a wound to rank wound banner. I lose this combat, but he sticks, and that's awesome. And then over here, Tremendous kills all but 1 of the little sea guard or spearmen or whatever they are, and he breaks and dies. So, we go to bottom of 4 after movement, and the Zinch Warriors and the Demon Prince slam into the Archers, who are still stupid, I believe. Yes, they're still stupid until the magic phase, because they have stupidity thanks to Final Transmutation, so they stick it out. Meanwhile, the Beast and Saval turn to look at... Saval charges into the Bolthor he was looking at last turn, and the War Shrine charges into the Spearman to help out my BSB before he dies. There's a better picture of the War Shrine slamming into the Spearman, and that's just to help him out. I don't want to lose my BSB. And here's a better picture of Saval charging into the Bolthor because it's time for it to go. And a better picture of Tremendous and the Zinch Warriors doing some teamwork stuff. During the magic phase, the War Shrine gets his spell off on my BSB, and he gets +1 weapon skill, which is perfectly awesome. And Saval gets a reroll yet again, because I used the last one, right? Also, I get Enchanted Blades off onto Zinch Warriors, which is always fun. And then we go into combat, and of course, Saval has no problem killing 2 weapons team elves. It's actually kind of brutal. Over here, thanks to War Shrine charging, I don't have to worry about taking a break check, but it was kind of a whiff. A lot of the elves survive. I don't take any more wounds, thank God, but I win this combat by like 1 or 2. They're steadfast and they stick it out, but if it hadn't been for the charge, the BSB would have been rolling again, and that would have sucked. Over here, yeah, the wind up, the pitch, and boom, a whole bunch of the archers get killed. Just a ton of them. Not that that's really a surprise. They do end up putting up a fight and getting through 1 wound on one of the Zinch Warriors, which is kind of embarrassing. But yeah, they lose kind of by a bunch. They break, they get run down, and that's where my Warriors and my Demon Prince end up. And then after it's top of 5 after movement, there is none because it's either in combat or a bolt thrower. We go straight into combat, and in this particular fight, I kill all but 4 of the spearmen. The BSB and the War Shrine finally get their stuff together and are able to kill them, and they break and they get run down. Or they break and they get away, I'm sorry, and then we go to bottom of 5, and the War Shrine and the War Shrine charges them, and they get charged off the table. I don't remember if I catch them or not, but they get charged off the table, so they're gone, and Lord Tremendous charges the last remaining bolt thrower. There's a better picture of the bolt thrower being charged. However, it's also the picture of combat, and this is where Lord Tremendous fails to do anything but kill 1 guy. And needless to say, they make their break check. So that's a little embarrassing. So it makes it into the top of 6 after movement, and there is no movement because we're in combat. And we go into combat, and of course, I'm able to do 1 more wound to the bolt thrower and kill it, and that's the end of the game. I know it wasn't much of a game and stuff like that, but you know, the dude did try. I can't fault him for that, and he tried to list just with what he had on hand. He told me to come after him. I wouldn't have done this normally, but he told me to come after him, so I did. And It was a fun game. I mean, I got to kill a ton of elves, and I like doing that. But yeah, we sat down. Me and a few of the other guys sat down, and we redid his list. He wants to bring a dragon and stuff like that, and a phoenix. Well, maybe not a phoenix, but definitely a dragon. And we're trying to talk him into Phoenix Guard or Sword Masters or White Lions or anything else, because he had a whole bunch of big units and nothing that with any real punch. Had that unit of Spearmen been something like Phoenix Guard or even Sword Masters, I would have had a huge problem on my hands. But we'll get to the recap in a second, because right now it's time for a quick timeout. Token time, everybody. Tokens. Check them out. All the tokens you could need for anything that you could possibly play. Warhammer 40k, Infinity, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Infinity, Malifaux, whatever you need tokens for, Token Gal can make the tokens. They're dirt cheap, guys. No more than $8 for a set, but they're solid gold quality. I mean, these are glass beads. They magnify the picture and the words. You've got wound counters. You've got status effects. You've got spell effects. +1 toughness, -1 strength. Whatever you need. She's got all the magic lores. She's got everything you need for any system that you play. She's got a email address you can send and be like, hey, I'm looking for this. And now she has a website. It's there at the bottom. I'm not going to bother reading it off, because if you can't read, what the hell are you doing on the internet? Just seriously, though, check her out. Check out her website. Order yourself some tokens. It's totally worth it. You won't regret it. Check out the model, guys. This model was painted for me by Unleashed Wargaming Painting Services. There's their email right down there at the bottom of the slides. Oh man, they did a good job painting this model. He looks great, as you can see. I mean, I'll let the pictures do the talking for me, but they do solid work. He's working on a web page. It's an up-and-coming company. He contacted me and was just kind of like, "Hey, check this out. Let me show you what I can do," and I'm not disappointed. Take a look. Send him an email if you're interested. Get the prices down. Get everything down. Quick turnaround. Good paint jobs. Hey, I didn't have to paint it. It took some pressure off my wife, which is always nice. But yeah, guys, if you get a chance, give these guys an email and tell them what you're looking for, what you're looking to do, and tell them Tremendous sent you. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, as you can see, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. I tabled my opponent. I did end up losing my knights. He ended up losing everything. That's what tabled means, so yeah. But my opponent hadn't played in a while. He told me to come at him at full throttle, and so I did. It was like a test game, just to gauge where his army was at and stuff. I think he's played this army against a couple other people and had better luck. I guess the other armies didn't play Warriors Chaos. So yeah, I don't know. But it was a weaker list. Like I said, a bunch of us talked with him after the game, made several changes to his list, so the next list should be much, much better and give him a lot more options. I mean, the Spearmen did incredibly well against the Knights. Makes me wonder what would have happened if my Khorne Warriors were in there. I would have had a lot more attacks at Strength 5, but I only would have had a 4-up armor. So maybe certain things should stay as is, but just stuff like what happened with like the 14 buy unit of Valerian Reavers. We talked to him about that and stuff. So hopefully his next list is a lot better, and he didn't seem too discouraged or anything like that. So I'm looking forward to trying to play against this guy again with a more competitive list. I think once he gets into that area where he starts using his whole army book rather than just the core choices and stuff like that, he'll be a real good force to be reckoned with. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, anytime I get to fight and kill a whole bunch of elves, it just tickles me on the inside. So I was very happy about that. It was an enjoyable game. My opponent was a good sport about the whole thing, took it in stride, and learned a lot from the fight, I hope. So it should be real interesting to see how he develops over the next few months. But a fun opponent. It was a good game, and I'm very much looking forward to the rematch. But there you have it, guys. There's Battle Report 101. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I know my wife enjoyed pretending not to listen the entire time and giggling to herself. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.